Peace and blessings, man. What's going on, beloved? It's your boy AD, man, the Black Viking, man, tapping in with y'all. It's Thursday, February 20th, 2025. A lot of activity going on back in the hometown. City of Lawrence police, if you ain't heard, jumped on a guy up at the Walmart in Lawrence. Crazy situation. But you know us over here at the Black Viking, man, we always try to be an advocate for truth and bring a correct perspective of any situation that we take on, right? We're going to do the math. So we're not going to always say that the police is wrong, and we're not always going to say that the people is wrong. We're going to look and make a fair and honest assessment of the situation, right? That's what we do. You want truth, you at the right place. You dig? You smelling me? Okay. Was the Lawrence police officer at fault? Yes, he was. Some people might say, how could you say that? Right? Because I understand protocol, procedures for law enforcement, right? He was supposed to conduct himself not in an antagonizing way, right? I watched the whole video front to beginning to end. He did not do his job as a public servant by antagonizing the situation, continuously antagonizing the individual, the brother that was standing up there, right? He was speaking to him aggressively, he was making threats, so forth and so on, etc. So he is definitely negligent in that respect, first and foremost. The brother, where he went wrong, because he's also wrong as well. Man, you let him trick you out your spot, bro. You're supposed to be wise enough to see what he was on and able to sidestep it. The reason why he was baiting you up is because he wanted you to do what happened. He wanted to commit an aggressive act upon you. Off the top, we already seen that. But he needed you to act in a certain manner to justify what he wanted to do. Obviously, y'all had some prior engagement before because I heard it on the video. So y'all done had some dealings before. So there's animosity. What you have to be mindful of, as well as us as citizens, dealing with a hostile combatant that has a uniform on. You can't think that you have more power in that situation than they do. Because actuality is neck and neck. And the scales can be tilted based upon your behavior or the way you respond to their behavior. It's more than one way to skin a cat. That's why I tell my peoples, man, to gain self-control and do not allow somebody to checkmate you. And that's what happened in this situation. The brother should have just, when he seen that they was hostile, I wouldn't even said anything else. I would have just kept it pushing. I didn't have identification on me, right? So there's certain things that they could have did to identify me, right? There's certain tactics or tricks that they could have used. My focal point would have been coming up out of that situation. Let me get up out of here because I see dude's a clown. I see he's probably a racist. We understand what type of climate we're in, political climate, right? That is on 10. So you got ones out there that they feel like they can do what they want to do because that's the current culture that we're in. And that's why I wanted to do this video, for ones to be mindful of these type of situations. You have people out here, not all law enforcement, but you have law enforcement individuals that are advocates of orange face, and they are looking for any reason to get one under their belt. As we see, as the video went on, was punching him in the face. He should lose his job off of that alone. Because your job as a civil servant is to not beat anybody in the face. You're telling this man that you're restraining him. You're telling him to put his hands behind his back, but in the same breath, you're punching him in his face. So he's trying to block you from punching him in the face. That's evident on the video. Ain't no getting around that. See, boom, boom, boom. Not only was it punching him, y'all was kicking him, whatever. And the other officers that were standing by and allowing this to go by, they negligent as well. They're definitely negligent as well. See, but I got to come back to bro. This is why I say you got to be mindful of every situation that you are engaged in. You got to be quick on your feet, man. Meaning how you think. You can't always address situations with hostility, because in some cases you lose. When you told him, he was still sitting in his cruiser, but you told him you would kick his ass if he didn't have the uniform on. That's a strike. That's open door right there. You threaten the officer, which is going to also elevate his beef that he has with you. So now he really, and you can hear it in his tone, the words that he was using. That's why I say he does not need to be law enforcement, because he couldn't maintain his cool as well. He lost his cool as well as did the gentleman that got jumped on. It's facts. But this is the part. Who is held to a more higher standard? The Lawrence Police Department or the individual that was a potential suspect or whatever? The police department is held to a higher standard of conduct. So by him allowing the gentleman, if you want to say, trick him out of his spot by feeding into it. If you was an officer, you shouldn't even been responding to him in such a manner. That means you have a self-control issue. You need counseling. You do not need to be out in the public representing the city of Lawrence when you can't maintain your cool. Who's to say? If it would have been a different situation, you probably would have shot and killed him. We don't need you on the police department. That's the facts. You're wrong. And the other gentleman that was standing around watching it, you're culpable as well, because you did not address the situation, de-escalate the situation. And that was supposed to be what was done. There's supposed to have been a de-escalation instead of adding fuel to the fire. And that is what the gentleman that worked for the City of Lawrence Police Department was doing in that video. That's my spiel. That's my measure. But we also, like I said, we have to be more mindful of the current climate that we in. You know it's hostility out here. know it's hostility out here. So why put yourself in such of a position that you have to go through that? Yeah, I know, fuck them, whatever, all that. I understand completely. However, there's more than one way to skin a cat, man. You can't outthink me. I'm not going to let you beat me, partner. My mission is to get back home. That is the mission. If I'm not thinking correctly, then I lose. I go to jail, he go home. I'm not going to let you outthink me. So this is where being in control of our emotions come in. We so emotional, and this is what's going on in the community. That's why we so quick to kill each other. But I understand why, because of all the stuff that's going on in the world. We frustrated. But you have to be on point out here, is my point. That's my position. The Black Viking perspective is head on swivel. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. In that situation, how could you have been properly prepared? Knowing how to engage a hostile police. These are things that you're supposed to know. How to engage any type of hostile person. Man, I'm about to outthink you, bro. You a clown. You know what? I ain't even got to sit in my mind. I know. So let me push this piece to sidestep that situation and keep going. Because I know what's going on. If I stay there and get hostile, the chances are more likely than not that I'm going to lose. It's factual, man. So in closing, the Black Viking, he says, man, that officer should lose his job because of his conduct that's with detriment to the public. He displayed conduct that was of detriment to the public safety by antagonizing the situation. What if the gentleman would have had a gun on him and just started opening up? Somebody innocently got shot because dude got mad because the police was provoking him. See, you gotta look at it from all different angles. But like I said, the Lawrence Police Department and all people that represent public safety are held to a higher standard of conduct. So by him being antagonistic in the situation, pouring gasoline on it, right, continue to tease and poke the bear and things of that nature, he was out of pocket. He does not need to be in public representing the city of Lawrence with that type of self-control, a lack thereof, should I say. Man, this is the Black Viking, man. It's your boy AD, man. And we are the Black Viking perspective, man, where we deal with all things in truth, man, and reality, man. Peace. Positive energy always creates elevation. You hear that? Positive energy always creates elevation. That's my measure, man. Peace.